Hey, you there! You like dealing damage, don't ya? Of course you do, only baboons buy items that don't give them damage. Well, what if I were to tell you that you don't need to spend gold to increase your DPS? Let me introduce you to Trestin, the Legion Commander. She initiates, she tanks, and she has theoretically infinite potential. Just like you, superstar. What was that? You want to learn more? Wait no further, you're in the presence of the history of Legion Commander. Legion Commander is a melee strength hero that capitalizes on the power of her ultimate in order to transition into a threat in the late game. Overwhelming Odds is an AoE nuke that also grants Trestin move speed. Both of these values will increase depending on the number of units caught in the spell's radius. This spell also does bonus damage to illusions, which can be useful for clearing out infestations of Phantom Lancers. Press the Attack can be cast on any allied unit and applies a strong dispel to the target, as well as granting attack speed and health regen for a few seconds. This can save an ally caught by a stun, but you could also use it to increase your DPS. Tough call. Moment of Courage is a passive ability that gives Legion Commander a chance to immediately counterattack an attacking enemy, while also granting lifesteal for that counter. But let's move on to the real star of the show, Duel. Duel forces an enemy hero to auto-attack you for a set amount of time, and if either hero dies during this, the winner will gain permanent bonus damage. The duel will only end if a hero dies, or if both of you become 2,000 distance apart from each other. Both heroes will be silenced and muted over the duration of the duel, so don't forget to activate your BKB before blinking in. Or, for the 1k players, don't forget to activate your Midas before shadow blading in. Trestin was introduced in patch 6.73 on December 24th, 2011, alongside 3 other heroes. That's right, Ice Frog used to give us 4 heroes for Christmas. Nowadays, we'd be lucky to get a chance to spin a wheel for hats. Anywho, check it out, Trestin totally used to be a man. In the original Dota, LC still held the same name and title, although his character is definitely a step in a different direction. Using Lord Gyarados as a base, it seems his lore was tailored to Gyarados' voice lines, which indicate that he just wants to make Dota great again. The lore is a first-person telling of Trestin's less than stellar opinion of non-humans, retching at the idea that he didn't become the greatest general this kingdom has seen in hundreds of years to see his lands reduced to this. Normally the lore is pretty inconsequential, all things considered, but he likes to yell about how the non-humans are taking away all his jobs whenever he gets a chance.
I hate working with these people. If you want something done right, leave it to a human. The lesser races must be purged from the kingdom.
Legion Commander is a relatively recent inclusion into Dota, and the port into Dota 2 is only 2 years off, so the balance changes were fairly minimal. Matter of fact, the only thing that didn't rescale his skills numbers happened in 6.73b, where Duel was changed to only target heroes. Legion Commander has something of a semi-port in the form of Ares from Heroes Evolved. He has a fan-shaped nuke that grants armor per enemy hero hit, and his ult does exactly what Duel does. Its description, in fact, is copy-pasted over from Duel. Like, they couldn't even be bothered to replace the wording in it. Lazy asshole. On December 12, 2013, Legion Commander was added into Dota 2 on the same day as Wraith Knight. Funny how an event which took away the manliest hero without testicles also gave us the manliest hero without testicles. Trestin also has the distinction of being the first female strength hero with all the changes that they made to her. Just so we're keeping track, the transition into Dota 2 means that the Legion Commander has no horse, no mustache, and her lore isn't focused around the eradication of other races. Upon examining her concept art, it does seem like there were intentions to give her a mount, but that never came to fruition. That said, her voice lines do make some references to her Dota 1 incarnation, depending on who her allies are.
Nice mustache. I like your mount. Never trust a snake. Never trust a fish. Never trust an insect.
As you can tell, Trestin is still very much the same character as she was in Dota 1, but her lore and motivations focus entirely on her rivalry with Underlord. The Abyssal Horde invaded the city of Stonehall where Trestin's Bronze Legion resided. Although they were able to fight off the attackers, the city lay in ruin, which is when Legion Commander swore vengeance on Underlord. Her arcana ties directly into the story as Trestin sought the blades of Voth Damash, fueled by her anger to kill Underlord. The item presumably makes her possessed by demons, which can help in her quest for revenge, all for the low price of $35 dues. The concept art also shows that there were plans to give her 2 swords from the get-go, but Valve decided to make this design an Arcana, similar to how Lena's beta art eventually became an Arcana 2. The item itself gives Trestin a lot of neat particle effects and modifies her existing voice lines to have a demonic reverb, and adds some angsty ones in for good measure.
I've come to put an end to hope. Burn forever in all hells.
Yeesh, you want some arm warmers and a Panic at the Disco CD while you're at it? The first of a few major changes to Legion Commander's kit came in patch 6.82, which prevented Duel from disabling passive abilities. This was an interesting nerf, as LC's pickoff potential wouldn't be able to lock down heroes like Faceless Void, who had time lock and backtrack at the time, though her ability to take out squishy supports more or less stayed the same. Her first Aghanim Scepter upgrade came in 6.84, which causes duel to last indefinitely until either Tristan or her target dies. Although this sounds cool in theory, like you were participating in some kind of knife-edge deathmatch, a Bane player could ruin everyone's fun and keep you in an alternating nightmare cycle for the duration of the game. Thanks, Ice Frog. In 6.86, the Ag's upgrade got reworked into something a little less stupid as hell, changing the duel duration to something more manageable, and making both duelists immune from all other sources of damage aside from the rugged fist fighting. Although this does make your job easier in taking out those fragile supports, by the time you have enough gold to farm the item, you should be able to kill those targets anyway. Also introduced in 6.86 was an innocent looking item called Iron Talon, which is yeah, I'm gonna count this as a nerf. It's not as though this item directly affected Legion Commander's existence, it just instead convinced greedier players to instalock her into the jungle until the 20-minute mark. This effectively made it a 4v5 for the beginning stages of the game, where overwhelming odds is a great harass tool, and duel kills are essential. On July 12, 2016, the Legacy of the Fallen Legion was granted to players who bought the International Compendium and increased the level to 225, which is around $100 if you were to just pay for the levels. This came with a questline that would unlock an additional style once completed, and this also coincided with a patch that would buff Press the Attack's bonus attack speed. Funny how that works out, doesn't it? Also noteworthy, this update also released a comic that gives us more understanding of Tristan's backstory. She was born as a slave in a city named Kine before the Bronze Legion invaded and attempted to recruit the men. At the age of 15, Tristan attacked the current commander before a time skip revealed that she slowly grew strong enough to hold the title of Legion Commander. If you didn't notice it before, the commander in the beginning of the comic looks to be a throwback to the Gyarados model in Warcraft 3, and the fact that Legion Commander is an attainable title in the lore makes it more feasible to accept why there was a sex change between the two games. The story continues with the siege that the current Bronze Legion performs until a small monkey Shota boy announces that Stonehall has been attacked, leading directly into Tristan's lore and her fight with the Abyssal Horde. Her pride established in this comic really fleshes out Tristan's motivations for fighting and highlights her disdain for Underlord. Her first set of talents were among the boring variety, outside of her level 25 ones. 25% cooldown reduction potentially means a lot more help during high ground attacks, as having more access to overwhelming odds and Press the Attack could make it more comfortable to get into your enemy's base. Alternatively, you could opt for plus 40 duel damage and smash through all the buildings like a strong, independent wrecking ball. In 7.06, the Ag's upgrade also makes LC turn spell immune during the duel, further baiting people into not buying BKB for whatever reason. In 7.07, the talents were reworked, with the left side leaning towards utility and the right side focusing on duel damage. Also, 7.07 finally put Iron Talon to rest. With this and the nerfs to jungling in 7.06 and 7.07, the haunted memories of jungling Legion Commanders could finally go away. Never again would we ever have to deal with this awful teammate, as the clear hints given to us by Valve would surely mean that no one in their right mind would ever start off in the jungle. Guys, what the I have a lot of feelings about Legion Commander. On one hand, it's definitely a guilty pleasure of mine to pick her for the sole purpose of racking up duel kills so I can flaunt my sick damage to randos in a pub. On the other hand, God, I want her to step on me. In either case, I know for a fact that I'm never going to choose her with the sanity of my teammates in mind. I'm Dennis the Tall, and that was the history of Legion Commander. Hey, so that was pretty entertaining, right? You know what else is entertaining? All these other episodes of Dotaology just floating around the screen right now. My dad works at Dota, and he told me that Gambler will definitely come back if you watch more. Trust me.